In this video we will create this romantic illustration with a bicycle using brushes from the free Valentine set I shared recently. You can download it along with other tutorial files below. If you like my YouTube videos, you can access even more tutorials and brush sets on my Patreon. You can check it out via the link in the video description below. Now let's grab our pencils and get started. The canvas size is 2000 by 2500 pixels. In the first part of the tutorial I will show you how to draw a bicycle in a few easy steps. Then we will shade it, add a few details, and work on the background to turn it into a lovely Valentine's illustration. In the end we will make a quick color and sharpness adjustment to get the finished design. Let's start with drawing one wheel and then simply copy it. To draw the tire, I'll go to the color palette and grab the tire color. This time I named all colors according to the objects they will be used to paint. Next we need to select a brush. If you watched my previous videos, you must already know that I like using texture brushes, and in this drawing I will use a texture brush for the outlines too. We can find one in the inking set. The brush is called Dry Ink. If we go to the settings and check Apple Pencil, we can see that the look of the brush stroke depends on the tilt of the pencil. I don't want that, so I will remove all the settings in the tilt. Click Done. After using the brush you can always go and reset the settings to default. Now let's set the size to around 6% and draw a circle. For the tire, I will make it not so big. Tap on the canvas to make it perfect and scale it. After that I will draw another circle inside this one to define the size of the tire. Let's also make it perfect and adjust its size and location using Edit Shape tool. I will move it like this. After that let's drag the color between these two circles and adjust the color drop threshold by sliding the pencil to the left. We will get these textured edges, and next we can draw the rim. Let's select rim color and draw one more circle like this. I will also tap here and scale it. Let me place it in the center. And then I will fill this area between the two circles again. Once we have the shape, we can shade it. So I'll go to the layer and apply alpha lock to it. This way all shading and textures will stay inside the shape. And first I will select rim shading color. We can use the same brush, but increase the size a little. Keep in mind that the brush is still pressure sensitive, so we can adjust it. I will make it perfect and then edit. I will place this color on the inner edge and make it not very thick, like this. After that I will go to the color palette and select tire shading color. This time I will outline the outer edge of the tire, and we can set the size to around 20%. So I will just draw like this. Also make the shape perfect by tapping on the canvas and edit. So it'll go like this, around the wheel. I think we can add even more texture here. For that I will select Tire Texture color and go to Painting Set. From here I'd like to use a brush called Turpentine. I'll go to the settings and remove size in the tilt settings of Apple Pencil. This way it will be easier to use this brush too. I will click Done, and later you can reset it as well. This brush has a very soft oil texture, so let's apply it with a low brush size. I'll set it to around 3% and draw around the tire. Applying low pressure. Some of the strokes can be brighter. So it looks tricky like this. I will make a few more strokes. They'll go this way, and I think this will be enough. Let's create one more layer and drag it down. In the color palette I will select chain color, and in the brushes go back to dry ink. Just make low brush size again, around 4 or 5%, and draw a small circle in the center of the wheel. Like this. Let's make it even smaller. I will move it to the center. Now let's create one more layer for spokes. So I'm picking spokes color. Here I'd like to change the brush. Let's go to Inking and select Inka brush. It also has a very nice texture that we can use. The size is set to 5%. We can determine the center here and draw the lines that will go through the center, around the wheel. I will try to keep the same distance between the lines and continue doing it this way. The size of the brush also depends on the pressure, so I think I will press less, so we will get these textured lines. Let me change the direction and go to the opposite side. I will do it until all the lines meet in the end. I'm also making these lines straight. For that I'm just waiting a second to activate Quick Shape tool. Then I will draw the last few lines. Now let's grab a razor. It can be set to medium hard airbrush from airbrushing. And with a low brush size, I will erase the spokes inside this brown circle. This is the result we will get. Now the first wheel is totally ready. Let's merge all these layers and duplicate it. Let's move one of the wheels to the right side. For that I'll click on the arrow, enable magnetics in the settings, and drag the wheel to the right. It'll go horizontally. And the distance between the wheels can be equal to the radius of the wheel, approximately. Next we can draw chain wheel between the two wheels. For that I'll go ahead and create one more layer. Also I will select the color for the chain wheel and use dry ink brush with the size set to 4%. I will just draw a smaller circle, somewhere here. Let me tap to make it perfect. We can also scale it. And after that draw another circle inside this one, at some distance. I'll place it this way. After that draw 2 more circles. This one will go here. I'll place it in the center and draw a small one inside it, like this. Now let's fill some areas between the circles. I'll drag the color here, then also here. Now let's divide the inner part into 5 equal parts. I will first draw lines, like this. After that I will draw 2 more parallel lines around each line. And paint it. The resulting shape will look like this. And actually the chain wheel is ready. In the next step we can draw mud guards on each wheel. So I'll go ahead and grab the first red color. We will use it to draw hearts and also the frame of the bicycle. Let's also create another layer that can be located above all layers. First I will outline an arc around this wheel. Let's start from here and it'll finish on the right side like this. We can edit the shape. After that I will draw another arc that may cover the wheel a little. And on the right side it'll go to the side. Let's connect them. I will make a line here and a curve on the right. Let me make it slightly wider. After that I will drag the color here. Let's now go to the second wheel and draw an arc around it as well. It will start from this side and go to the right. Let me edit the shape. Then I will draw another arc that can match with the wheel. Edit it. Connect them here. And also on the opposite side. It may go as a line with a small angle. Let's now fill it. And these two parts are ready. We will shade them a little later. Right now we can continue drawing the frame. So I will now draw two parallel lines going from the chain wheel to the right with an angle. Starting from here and going until this height. Let's connect them on top and at the bottom with another lines. Here I will match it and then fill. After that we need to draw another line that will go from the wheel up. The angle may be slightly different and it may also go as a straight line, but to make it more artistic we can make it as a curve. I'll start from here and draw it like this. Draw another line and make it parallel to the previous one. Let's connect them here and draw a line on top. Then also fill it. And this part. Now let's connect these two parts with another one. Also drag the color here and draw one more. I will also make it as a curve, but it can go straight if you like. I will match it with the chain wheel. Let's connect it here. Then fill it. We need to work on the right side of the bicycle. So let me go to the brush. And here I will draw another line from this side that will go to the wheel. I will also make it as a curve. Let me connect it on this edge. Then fill these two parts. And draw another one. It will also start from the chain wheel and go inside the wheel. I will make it slightly curvy. Connect it here. Then also on the opposite side. And fill. Then I will select chain color. Create a layer on top. We can increase the size a little. And I will draw another circle around this small one. Let's make it perfect. Then adjust the size and location. I will draw a few small lines inside. After that, I will draw around this small chain wheel, like this, connecting it with the big one, and another line at the bottom. Then I will outline this chain wheel. If you want to make it look more realistic, you can use a reference. I just drew it from memory. Alright, maybe we can make it slightly thicker. Like this. Then we can draw the pedal. I'll create one more layer for it. First select trim color and draw a line from here. After that I will pick tire color and draw a horizontal rectangle. I think I'll make it a little wider. And with rounded corners. To finish the bicycle, let's create a new layer that we can place below the frame. This time we will draw handlebar plug and the seat, so let's select this dark color. First let's continue this line, connect it on top and at the bottom, and fill. Then I will continue it here, make it approximately same thickness, create a rounded corner, and go a little to the left with the same thickness. After that I will change the direction, also make it rounded, and draw two more lines. Let's connect all these lines, also at the bottom, on top here, and then fill the shape. Let me adjust it a little. And after that I'll go to change the color. Let's select the color for the seat, which we will also use for handle. Let's draw it here. I will make it rounded, connect it, and also fill. Now let's draw the seat. First I will make a curve here at the lower part, then another curve going up, and on top I will make it even more curvy. On the right side it will be wider. Let's connect these parts, close all the edges, and drop the color here, inside the shape. I will also adjust the edges, maybe make this one a little more straight. And now we can proceed to shading. We can actually continue working on these small shapes and shade them. So I'll go to the layer and alpha lock it first. Then switch to the next color on the right, which is called shading. Here I will be also using turpentine brush from painting. Let's select the brush size, which has to be small, and make a few strokes on the handle. to the sides. Then I will go to the seat. Here we can make the size slightly bigger. And first I will make strokes here in the center. Then continue working on the right side. And paint on the edge. Here I will be making strokes inwards. And on the side. With a smaller size we can paint on the frontal part. Just highlight this area like this. Let's now select this dark color and make a stroke at the bottom to darken it. Now the seat is ready. Let's pick white color from the background. Lower the opacity a little, around 85%, and make strokes here for the highlights. I will be also making strokes up and down, following the shape. Here in the center I will highlight it even more. Now let's go to the handlebar plug and do the same. I will start from here and go in the middle of the shape, following all the curves. Here I will paint it this way and go down. I will keep only the dark borders. And lightening the shape inside. Let's be careful here on the border between two shapes. Alright, this is also ready. I think I will select shading color again and go to this layer with the chain wheel. I will also alpha lock it to keep the texture inside. Let me increase the brush size a little and make a few strokes on this wheel. Also inside it like this. Now it is also ready. We just need to shade the frame. For that I'll go to the layer with the frame and then alpha lock it. At first I will select frame shading color number 1 and paint in the middle of the shape. The size can be set to around 2% or maybe 3. I will paint closer to one edge. Let's continue here. Make strokes this way. Then also inside this shape. And paint at the lower part of the mudguard. Getting this oil texture. Let's continue and go to this side. Here I will also paint closer to the top part. Paint inside this shape. Make the size smaller. Then also highlight the mudguard. On the lower side. And on this frame. I think actually all these parts have their separate names. I just united them and called it frame. Now that we have the light color, let's select frame shading number 2, which is dark. So let me set the size to 2% and darken one of the edges on the frame. I'll go along this side. Then also here, on the mudguard. Paint mostly on top side of it. And due to the properties of the brush, these colors will blend together. We don't even have to use smudge tool. Let's work on this one and paint at the lower part of it. Then I will go to the left side. Paint here at the bottom. Here it will go on the left side. Go down. Actually, we can cross the mudguard. And then paint on top of it. I will just go along the edge. We can increase the size a little, so the colors are more blended. This is the last part, where I will go at the lower side as well. And now the bicycle is totally ready. Let's continue adding details to it. So I'm merging all the layers, creating another one, and selecting the heart's color. Now it's high time to open the Valentine's brush set. Here in the set we can see a few different heart shapes, and from the list I will select heart 6. It looks like a balloon. Before drawing the balloons, I think we can scale and reposition the bicycle to get more space for the background. So I will go to this layer and scale the bicycle uniformly. Let's drag it a little down, and horizontally I will keep the same distance on the sides, so it is centered. This will be enough. Now I'll go to the new layer. Let's set the size of the balloon stamp to around 10% and tap on the canvas. After that I will rotate it and place it like this. Then I will duplicate this heart, move it upper, and change the angle a little. Then I will duplicate the first heart again, and this time drag it down. Also change the angle. I will rotate it more clockwise. And move. So in the end they will look like this. After that I'd like to shade each balloon separately. So I will be creating a new layer, clipping it, selecting this color that we used for frame shading, go to Materials set from Procreate, and pick Glover brush. The size can be set to around 7%, and I will draw on top of the balloon. We can even tap, just to get subtle texture. Let's do the same with this heart. Also tap a few times. And go to the last one. I will also clip the layer and tap a few times on top. After that all these layers can be merged. I will go back to the red color and to dry ink brush. Let's draw small triangles here on the balloons. And on this one. After that I will pick this grayish color To draw the ropes, I think we can select Inka brush here, so it matches with the spokes. I will start from here and use the brush size at 5%. Just draw a curve that will connect the balloons with the bicycle. Then another one. And one more. They don't have to be parallel. They just need to connect the balloons with this point. Finally, let's start working on the background. So I'm creating a layer below all layers. Selecting this red color for the hearts and go into the Valentine set. There are also a few heart branches stamps. I'd like to use the one that comes first. The size can be set around 34% and I'll just tap on the background. I think I will flip it horizontal, so it goes more to the right. Let me move it a little upper. And then I will do this. I want to recolor the trunk, and it can be done in a few ways. Since the automatic selection is not so perfect, we can simply create a new layer, clip it, select tree trunk color, and then pick a drawing brush. I think I will be using technical pen, because it has this tapered tip. I will set the size to 7%. And here we can see the trunk clearly. I'll just outline it this way. Since the layer is clipped, here it won't go outside. I will just separate the leaves from the trunks. These two. And the last one. Now we can make the size bigger and just paint the trunk. I will set the size to maximum to make it faster. Just paint the entire trunk. Once it is done, these two layers can be merged. Then I will duplicate it, scale it, move it upper, rotate, and create a tree shape. I will just match it with this branch. Then we can duplicate this one and make it even smaller. I will also rotate it and put it here. I think we can even flip it horizontal, so it changes its look, like this. Now the tree shape is ready. We can merge these three layers. After that, I'd like to shade the trunk, so I will create a new layer first, then clip it. I will select this light trunk shading color, together with Inka brush. I'll set the brush size to around 7 or 6% and add the texture on one side of the trunk. The brush is pressure sensitive, so we will get this tricky texture on the side, and the lines will get bigger or smaller depending on the pressure. I will go along the edge down, then add a few thinner lines here and continue going up along this edge. Transition to this branch, also texturize it on the left side. Work on this one and continue going up. Here I will press more and add thinner lines by lowering the pressure, Let me finish it here. Also adding the texture. And here come the small branches. Once we got the shading, we can do this. I will duplicate the layer and change its blending mode to color dodge. After that I will go to adjustments and blur it a little at around 5%. This is the difference. Now I will grab a razor, set it to soft brush and erase the blurry texture at some parts where we want to get the shadow. So I will just make a few strokes here and there. In the end it'll look like this. Now the tree is totally ready. We can merge these layers. Let's see if the size is fine. Maybe we can make it just a little bit bigger. After that I will create one more layer and place it below the tree. Let's now select this pinkish color that is called background 1. Go to Materials set and grab this glover brush again. This time I will increase the size and make strokes on the background behind the bicycle and the tree. Then I will switch to the color on the right and make more strokes on the side. After that I will create one more layer, select Hearts color and open Valentine's set. Since we use the branch with textured hearts, it's better if we select another brush with the same heart shape. It's this one called Hearts 1, on top of the set. This brush is dynamic and changes its size depending on the pressure we apply. So we can set the size to around 8% and make a few strokes like this. They may go down and we can also tap. The size will also be randomized. Then let's select a darker color and make a few more strokes. Also tap a few times. Then I will create one more layer, go back to the previous color, maybe make the size a little smaller and make a stroke under the bicycle, like this. Then select this pinkish color and make another stroke. They may intersect. I think we can click on the arrow and use distortion. I will drag these corners inside and these two will go to the sides. This way we will add some perspective to the drawing. I will also move it a little, like this. I think we can select all layers and center the illustration. Maybe we can merge all the layers, if you are sure you don't need to adjust them. Also, I'd like to apply a paper or canvas overlay, so I will just go and insert the file that I found on Unsplash. I will scale it to cover the entire canvas, then change the layers mode to linear burn and lower the opacity to 50%. We will get a texture like this. That will be also seen on the white background. These two layers can be merged as well. In the end, I always like to adjust the colors to make the drawing look even better. Sometimes I do it using Adobe Lightroom, which is free for iPad, or it can be also done in Procreate. So let's go to Adjustments and select Color Balance. Here I will add magenta, also blue color, just a little bit, and maybe a little bit of cyan. You can try your own combinations, and if you post your version on Instagram, don't forget to tag me at TatyWorks. I will be very pleased to see your version. I think I'll keep it like this. Then I'll go back to adjustments and apply sharpen, because we use transformation a lot. So we can fix the sharpness. For that we just need to slide to the right. And the texture will get more sharp. After all these adjustments, the drawing is ready. You can use this design to create a Valentine's card, stationery or t-shirt print, or whatever comes to your mind. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this video and hit that bell icon for notifications. You can also unlock more tutorials and brush sets on my Patreon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.